us trapped in melancholy with the wood wands of holly, suggestions that obliterate to camouflage the folly. Attempted mental robbery, executed sloppily. The hypocrisy, this mockery, and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet.
Oh, sweet eternal balance of all that is good, true, and beautiful. Friends, we need it right now more than ever, perhaps, because shit is absolutely fucking R to the tard. What's up, Chad Clemens and Chris Phoenix in the chat and other people watching? If you want to interact, YouTube is the best way to do it, although sometimes I do now get notifications from Facebook and messages from Facebook in this live stream place. I'm here to talk to you about what is so frustrating to me right now. It's driving me absolutely nuts, and it's all of the shit going on, obviously, with race and whatnot. So I guess really quickly I will mention to you that I do have some ways that you can support me, and they involve things such as going to my site, rogueways.org. You can read some stuff that I write. You can get a tarot reading. They are amazing, awesome, deep, wisdom-filled spiritual connections for you. Sometimes people compare them to a very cheap therapy session. You can grab some irreverent merch, such as this shirt that says, "I survived the coronavirus and all I got was this stupid police state." I do teach classes. I offer one-on-one sort of life coaching, counseling type of help for you if you're seeking especially spiritual guidance. I sell Organite pendants that are beautiful, and I have gear with the Rogue Ways logo on it in beautiful ways. You can also support me on Subscribestar, and I would appreciate it immensely if you have ever found any value in Rogue Ways that you would support at least at the dollar level, $1 a month. We can all afford that, I believe. And so I hope that that you would like to support me in those ways or more. So having said that, let's jump back. Thank you, Harmony, for saying to get my books. The books are amazing. I love them myself. I basically, I'll start by saying, obviously, I think it's obvious to at least 90% of the people in the world that racism is wrong. Racism is bad. Racism is bad towards any race of people. Judging somebody by any of their group memberships is pretty stupid. It makes you an ignorant person. Assuming something about other people at any point in time makes you an ignorant person, whether that has to do with the color of their skin or not. So, of course, that makes racism even more ignorant. Systemic racism is even worse when we have systems that seem to be in place that specifically target certain groups of people. It's awful, whether that's a group of people based on their race or some other characteristic of them. Targeting groups is wrong. And we have a lot of those things. Police killing black people is horrifying. It's systemic, perhaps. It's disgusting. It's dehumanizing. I don't know anybody who's for it. Although I'm sure there are some. I don't deny there are. There's probably plenty of ignorant fucks in the world who are stupid. There's not actually that many, though. When you go around to most people and you talk to them and you say, "Hey, is racism wrong?" They're like, "Yeah." You're like, "Are police killing black people wrong?" They're like, "Yeah." You're like, "Would you, sign a petition, go to a bake sale, go to City Hall, or do something to affect change and stop racism?" They'd be like, "Sure." People are mostly good, and most good people would do something productive to stop racism if they could. I can't imagine having this fair-looking, white-looking skin, that what it would be like to be treated poorly by people just because of the way that I look in skin tone. I can't imagine what it's like to be refused service in a place that I would go to frequent and possibly have food with friends or something. I've heard stories like that. I can't imagine what it's like to go in somewhere and be followed around as though I'm shoplifting, except that I was when I was a kid, when I was a shoplifter. And that is, probably a similar feeling, but it wasn't because of the color of my skin. So I can't imagine what that's like. I can't imagine what it's like to fear for my life because of my skin color. I can't imagine any of those things. I don't know anybody who thinks those things are good. I talk to lots of people. I have talked to lots of people my whole life, and I've met very few of them who are actively racist people. And when I do, I call them out, and I do so in no uncertain terms. I try to make them feel as ashamed as possible about their choices, because you should feel ashamed if you judge people like that. It's a horrible way to live life. I do, however, know what it's like to fear for my life because of things that I cannot choose about myself, such as my genitalia. I know what it's like to walk around wondering if I'm going to get murdered or raped. And I almost have been murdered and I have been raped because of my genitalia. It's a very similar type of thing in the sense that this is something about our bodies that we didn't choose and that somehow make us a target to certain people in certain times. Many people, I don't know really, I don't think I've ever met anybody who didn't have something about their personality or identity or the way their body looked that made them a target to some people sometimes. So I will say that this is actually part of the human condition and that most people can relate to being targeted for whatever group they are a part of. Whether that's your age, you're old or young, both get targeted. Your skin color, many different skin colors all around the world are treated by other skin colors in horrible ways. Whether that's your religion or your perceived religion, whether that's your genitalia, whether that's who you choose to fuck, any of these things can be something that people get targeted for. And it's always horrible when that happens. It's always horrible. It always should be condemned. It should always be avoided. It should always be fought and stopped when possible. I have also known what it's like to be brutalized by police physically while doing absolutely nothing illegal. Many people do know that feeling because that isn't necessarily something that always has to do with the color of your skin. I recognize that there are police that do target people by the color of their skin. You might even argue that it's more prevalent than any other type of police targeting or profiling, although there's no conclusive evidence on that. Police, in fact, tend to just abuse their power. They tend to do it against people they perceive as weak and powerless. They tend to do that in many situations where people are weak and powerless. And so if you are in a category of person that they might see as weak or powerless, such as a young female, which is when it happened to me, or a black person in a community that is oppressed, or just poor, it's most likely that it's just that you're poor, because being poor is actually the largest determiner of whether or not you will succeed in life. You won't. Whether or not you will achieve highly in education, you're not likely to. Whether or not you'll be abused by the system, you will be. Being poor is actually the thing that brings us together. Class actually has more to do with what will happen in any of these situations than anything else, based on data. If you can't tell, I'm pissed off. Somebody in the chat just said Lindsay is on fire. I'm not pissed off because people don't like racism. I love that people don't like racism. I'm not pissed off that people are fighting for black rights. They should. Black people shouldn't be oppressed. I'm pissed off that people are saying stupid shit like this. Left and right, everywhere I look. Black people have every right to burn down a country they built for free. There's so many things wrong with this statement. I can't even, and I know black people who would agree with me and say there's everything wrong with this statement, and I know there's black people who wouldn't agree with me. So please, if you're someone ignorant enough to say something like, well, you just don't know black people, or like, you're not black, like, yeah, I know I'm not black. Clearly I'm not black. I do know black people. I do know some of them. Some of them may agree, some of them may not, because it's not about the color of your skin, whether or not you see how ignorant this statement is. It's about the quality of your ability to think clearly, whether or not you think this statement is accurate or not. No, nobody has the right to burn down a country, period. The country doesn't belong to one group of people, period. It's a tract of land. It's a region that multitudes of people live within, and multitudes of types of people have built over centuries or maybe even thousands of years of time has gone into cultivating the land and creating the things that exist here. And no, there's never going to be one group of people that's allowed to just decide to burn it down. And no, they didn't build it for free. They helped to build part of it. Some black people's relatives helped to build a part of it. You know who else built a part of it? Do you know who else built like a large fucking part of it? Do you want to know what the number one factor is in determining who built most of this country? I tell you again, just like the thing that we were talking about before, it's not actually the color of their skin, it's their poverty level, it's class. Poor people built the United States of America, and some rich people helped sometimes too and did stuff too, and they provided capital, whatever the fuck. But if you wanted to make an argument about who, what class, if there was one group you were going to pick that like built America, which is already a logical fallacy, but if you were forced to do so, it wouldn't be black people, it would be poor people. If you were intelligent, that is, because when you look back at our history, who built America? Slaves definitely did, and it was fucked up and horrible. So did every single immigrant group that came to America, and it was fucked up and horrible. All of them were mistreated horribly. All of them were fucked by the system. The power systems love to target weakness, so they targeted them. Every fucking poor person who's been targeted, like, I don't get how you can even make the fucking argument that only racism built America. And again, there are going to be people of every color who agree and disagree with me, so please don't be ignorant enough to make this about my color of skin. Just think about the quality of the fucking argument itself. Who built America? Tons and tons and tons of people fought and died and built and fucking drowned in debt and were murdered by fucking, like, the fucking railroad revolts and shit. Like, they'd send out fucking corporations to murder people, not because they were black or Asian or anything else, but because they were poor as fuck. Like, if we can't see that poverty is what fucking binds us together over any other quality about us, and you may not live in poverty or whatever, it doesn't matter, you're poor as fuck if you're not one of the elite. Like, we're all in this together. It has nothing to do with the fucking color of our skin. But you know who loves that we're sitting here burning each other's houses down and fucking calling each other shit because of how we look? The fucking controllers and rulers love that shit. They love it. In fact, this was done to you on purpose. If you're sitting there right now, like, cheering on looting and, like, hating fucking white people, no matter what color your skin is, like, you've been deluded by the media and fucking programming to hate other people who also are being fucked over by the system. It pisses me off, if you can't tell, like, to no end. I'm so sick of people falling for this stupidity over and over and over again. It's so fucking lazy to sit here and be like, yeah, totally, my whole fucking life is determined by one factor about me, and it's my skin color. No, that is a factor, and you probably have received horrifying aspects of life because of that fucking thing. And every other human you meet will also have horrifying parts of their life that they've had to struggle through because of factors they also didn't choose. And when you get beyond that and you stop being so shallow and fucking self-absorbed, you see that all of the fucking people who have had any kind of poverty or lower income or, like, not access to the highest echelons of society are your allies. Those are your allies. Martin Luther King Jr. was not killed until he started talking about class and money, because that's the fucking ticket. That's the thing that unites us all. And if we were all united, nothing could stop us. They didn't care that he was out, like, rallying about black rights. Well, they did, but obviously not enough to fucking take him out. And then he started talking about fucking class, and he started saying, you know what? I actually think it's more important that we focus on poverty and class and unite all of the fucking lower class together than it is that we keep focusing on race. Because he saw the truth finally. They love it when we're divided. We're so easily divided. We're, like, yelling and screaming at each other about fucking gay rights and LGBTQ and blah blah. And no one's saying there's no oppression going on there. But you have to fucking see the bigger picture. There's way more oppression going on as a fucking totality of class. You are oppressed. We are all enslaved. There is no one I've ever met who's not a fucking slave to this system. None of us is free of the fucking power structures and the way that they fuck us. All of us are targets. All of us are weak. Unless we fucking can get over this shit and stand together. I get really angry. I get really angry when I see bullshit like this. Black people have a right to burn down. No, nobody has a right to burn down shit. And it's fucking so ironic, because the people who are screaming about this and saying, black people have a right to da-da-da-da-da. Black people, I mean, humans have a right to behave in whatever way. Like, I'm not in charge of them. It doesn't matter their skin color. Nobody has a right to just go randomly burning down buildings and shit. That's not your fucking right. It's not a right at all. Can you do it? Yeah, I guess if you're capable of, like, that level of destruction and you feel good about it, you can do it, but that doesn't make it right. It doesn't give you a right. And to fucking be so patronizing that you look at black people and you're like, well, they've been angry their whole lives, and so here they are acting out. Like, that's so that's racist as fuck. You're gonna look at a group of black people and be like, this is the best they can do, is they get angry and they burn shit. It's like, that is fucking racist. Like, and no one cares about that. Everyone's like, that's totally fine. That level of racism where you take a whole group of people and you imagine that they can't do better than that or something. I mean, like, again, whether you agree with it or not, like, treating it in that fucking way, like, this is just how black people act when they're mad. Like, that's fucking racist as fuck. And nobody's calling that shit out. Like, it's blowing my mind. That's racist, and that's somehow okay. But it's not okay to point out that actually we're all oppressed together and fucking that we should unite against a common enemy, which is the ruling class, who fucking loves that we're sitting here fighting about this shit. This is not even taking into account the fact that all of these fucking riots are done by agent provocateurs and that none of those people give a fuck of who got killed or why. I mean, the protesters do. They're impassioned. Like, they just went through months of quarantine and they're fucking somebody got killed and they're scared and they're emotional. Like, but the agent provocateurs are the ones who come in and fucking set shit off and they start breaking windows and like screaming things and throwing a Molotov cocktail and then everybody goes fucking crazy. Like, it's that group mentality. The last episode, go watch it. Like, if you can't rise above that shit, you're destined to be played over and over and over again, and you're all being played. Anybody taking part of this is being played. If you're out just walking with your sign and you're like, yo, I care about this and I want to make it known, cool. If you're fucking destroying buildings and like burning down your neighbors' houses and fucking apartment buildings and shit, like there's something seriously wrong with you. You're lazy as fuck, and you haven't thought things through. You have no idea what you're fucking doing. No fucking idea what you're doing. You're hurting the exact people you should be allied with, you know? And what did fucking, speaking of Martin Luther fucking King Jr., what the fuck did he do? Was he like, well, let's go fuck up all the whiteys, guys? Like, that's what we should do with the fucking system. Like, no. What do Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and fucking the Black Panthers, you know, if we're talking about race, like, let's take those people, just that. What did they have in common? They fucking thought it through. They had plans and shit. They organized. The Black Panthers were like the most organized fucking group in fucking history because they had so much to overcome. Like, talk about fucking racism. Like, way, way more apparent then, way more fucking systemic then. Like, now there is some. It sucks. It's not good. I'm not saying it's good. Back then it was even worse. They had to come up against that and organize their entire community, like fucking, like they had people in fucking shifts and shit, like with certain tools and training, and like they knew what to fucking do. They didn't just run out the fucking door and start burning shit. It's so fucking lazy and it's so fucking sad to watch. It's ignorant as fuck, and it's so fucking racist to say that because you're black you get to behave like this. That is racist. If there's fucking something racist in what's happened, that's it. We can also get into like whether or not this was even racially fucking motivated. Those people knew each other for 17 years. The cop and the guy he killed. 17 years. Doesn't sound racially motivated. It sounds personal. Like, it's not even fucking race that did it. It's fucking ridiculous. And they love it. They love it because we just fell into the fucking trap, and now people all over the country are like, they don't even know what the fuck they're doing because nobody thought a fucking thing through. Nobody organized shit. Nobody's fucking starting community patrols or something. Start a community fucking patrol if you feel unsafe. That's what the fuck you should do. That's what the Black Panthers fucking did. Like, what the fuck? I fucking hate it. It pisses me off so fucking bad. We're all sitting here. We're all still enslaved. And people are just running around and fucking doing whatever the fuck they feel like in the moment. What's your fucking plan? What is your fucking plan? You know? And people are like, oh, it's totally okay. They don't have a plan because, like, they're so emotional. They can't think. No, it's not okay. That's the worst time to act. You're being fucking ridiculous. You're making the whole entire world worse because you're too fucking lazy to think. Because you can't fucking process a fucking emotion. Like, we all have to face some pretty fucking wild shit and none of it's fair, and it doesn't give you an excuse to go make it worse. You know? Like, look to the fucking people who made shit better in the past, and what did they do? They fucking organized and planned, and they still failed. Like, fucking, you have to organize and plan a shitload. Way more than you've ever fucking imagined. And how many fucking people are doing that right now? Like, zero. There's fucking very few people out there actually organizing anything. They're just destroying. How is that fucking helpful? What is that going to do? It's so fucking ridiculous. You're capable of making a plan. You're capable of thinking shit through. You're capable of fucking pausing when a firebomb goes off near you and going, do I want to participate in this? Or is this actually just totally fucking intentional agent provocateur bullshit meant to fucking waste my time, ruin my community, and divide me against people even further? Because once you fucking bombed a place and like burned it down, you're pretty committed to your path. It's probably a lot harder after that point to stop and say, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. In fact, maybe there's a way better way to go about living in the world. But the fucking most passionate idiot is always the one that people fucking gravitate to. See it right now. We talked about it in the last episode with the fucking group thinking shit. It doesn't matter how good your ideas are or how fucking well thought out they are. It matters how loud and fucking emotional you are. And people just fucking run to you and they fucking love it. And it's so crazy. It's emotionally charged, thoughtless, mindless bullshit, and it is destructive as fuck. People do this all the time. They come up and they're like, hey, we need to all do something. Let's all fucking go and let's just fucking revolt. We're gonna have a revolution. Let's grab our fucking guns and revolt. And I'm like, you're gonna wake up on a fucking random Wednesday, decide that you have the training and the fucking forethought and the planning or whatever to go pull off a fucking violent revolution and that's gonna go well? Do you know what the people in the past who have pulled off revolutions have done? A lot more than woken up on a Wednesday and watched a fucking YouTube video and gotten mad about it. Like, you're gonna go out and you're gonna just start shooting people. Who knows who? It'll all get washed out in the fucking whatever end, and then we'll just figure it out. And then, I don't know, it's like someone asked today, they're like, so what happens if we have civil war and we, like, storm the White House and kill the president? Like, yeah, good question, because nobody who fucking talks about it has ever thought about it for a fucking second. Have you thought of a fucking better government, or a way to change this one, or a way to organize society, or a way to provide for people's needs? I'm not saying this is a great system. I just talked a lot of shit about it. It's clearly fucking decrepit and corrupt as fuck. But do you have a better one? Or are you gonna just go rip shit down and hope for the best? It really drives me insane. It drives me insane. And then people ask, well, Lindsay, what would you do? And here's my fucking answer. What I've been doing for my goddamn entire fucking life. Like, I woke up when I was fucking 12 and I was like, wow, the world is fucked up. Like, I don't know a single fucking adult that has their shit together, and nobody seems to realize that the entire world is crumbling. Like, this shit is fucked up. And instead of going, I'll just fucking eat some chocolate and, like, maybe start a riot someday, I was like, okay, what could I do to at least maybe try to make it a little bit better? And I decided I will try to get to a point where I have a sustainable fucking it still hasn't happened. I will try to get to the point where I have a sustainable sort of fucking lifestyle. And in the meantime, I'll do the one job I can think of that might influence people for the better and won't do any harm. And that was teaching. And so I set out to become a teacher. And then I did it. And then I hopefully did influence some people. And now I'm here fucking influencing you. And all of the messages I put out into the world are consistent. And they're all about how to change the world for the better. And it always starts with yourself. Always starts with you. If you are the fucking person who looks at a fucking murder of a person by a cop, doesn't ask any fucking questions about it, doesn't think for a fucking second about what actually happened, and then goes out and starts fucking rioting, you're the problem. You're the reason the world sucks. That's you. No matter the fucking color of your skin or how old you are or who you fuck at night or what the fuck you do, it doesn't fucking matter. That's you. You fucking made the world a worse place. You have to make yourself fucking better. You have to be able to deal with emotions. Tons of shit is going to happen and it's going to be horrifying. And if you can't fucking handle it and respond appropriately, you're going to make the world a worse place. If you can, on the other hand, respond appropriately, if you can use your fucking brain and think ever, even for a little bit, sometimes every day, and you can ever put out good energy or thoughtful energy or even fiery, passionate energy where you're angry and yet still sending a good message that's constructive and productive, you will have made a difference and you will be making the world a better place. And the only fucking difference between what I say and what fucking violent revolution and pointless, thoughtless, fucking no plan bullshit actors pull off is that mine takes a long ass time and a lot of dedication and all day, every day of you actually fucking doing something. That's the fucking difference. So that's me being fucking angry as fuck and sick of people being so fucking stupid. Like, even the smart people I know are fucking stupid. And it's terrifying that this is how fucking stupid everybody is. Not you guys listening. Sorry. Just a lot of fucking people. A lot of fucking people who make fucking images that say black people have every right to burn down a country they built for free. Those fucking people. People who fucking get on here and, like, get impassioned and, like, make fucking calls to action that aren't thought through and don't actually fucking accomplish anything. Anybody that is basically not telling you that you are ultimately responsible for your fucking life, making it better, and then also making the world better, anybody saying anything else is a bullshit fucking lazy ass liar who hasn't thought shit through. And that is the worst fucking insult I can think of, is saying you have not thought shit through. Like, you can't think. And you're not thinking. So that's my fucking rant. It fucking pisses me off. I'm just sick. Like, the fucking media comes in and the media fucking tells everybody, look, a black person died. Freak the fuck out. Oh, institutional racism forever. Freak the fuck out. And nobody fucking stops to fucking think. I mean, this game is old as fuck. Even the people I was just talking about, the Black Panthers, Malcolm X, fucking Martin Luther King Jr. and millions of others have like got to the point where they're like, oh, these people are trying to divide us. They're trying to. We learned this lesson like decades ago, and still ignorant fucking people are falling for it. It fucking blows my mind that people still haven't seen through this shit. All day long today, people are like, well, you're a racist. I'm like, I am not a fucking racist. I'm not even a tiny bit of a fucking racist. I have had things in my life where I have had racism without knowing it, and I have instantly then tried to figure it out and fucking uproot it and get rid of it. There's people, all of us are programmed by the media since we're born to have these like subconscious shit. So like, sure, I guess you can argue that technically everyone is racist, but like, I am not fucking racist. And people are saying this to me because I don't think that people should be rioting. That makes me racist somehow. That's fucking ridiculous. Like, there's something fucking wrong with your brain if you can't fucking understand how super ignorant that is to say. People who haven't asked a fucking question, they're like, if you don't understand why people da-da-da, then you just don't know what it's like. I'm like, no, I don't know what it's like to be black, and I never will know what it's like to be black. I have some sort of similar types of experience that I can kind of at least have compassion for. I have spent time organizing protests against police brutality, especially police brutality against people of color and lower income people in my past, and so I actually have actually taken action about this thing. But you're gonna fucking call me racist and assume that I don't, or that I haven't, or that I don't understand the fucking problem. Maybe you're fucking too retarded and you're fucking ignorant and you haven't asked a goddamn question and you haven't thought shit through, because all you're fucking doing is looking at some sort of stimulus and just reacting emotionally when you have no thought. And that's like the majority of people right now. That's the majority of people I see speaking, acting, posting shit, fucking going on the news. All of these people don't fucking think for a second. Don't fucking think for a second. And you're going to go out and say, we need revolution, and we need a fucking revolution. What are you going to go to? What system are you going to put in place? Have you ever studied any fucking political system? Do you even know what fucking political system we have now and how it supposedly works? Probably not. Most people who fucking talk about this shit don't have a fucking clue. They don't even know what the fuck is going on right now, but they're the ones who are going to go fucking tear it down and build us something better? Yeah, that's totally going to happen. Who is in charge of this fucking shit show? It's a fucking bunch of clowns. We live in a fucking clown world, and we have created people who have absolutely no fucking self-responsibility at all. They want to sit the fuck around all day in their fucking underwear and get government checks and be able to fucking speak to fucking shit that they've never fucking thought through once in their life so they can get some fucking virtue signal points. And that's the thing that fucking pisses me off too. People are just repeating shit without even thinking it through because they want the fucking points. They're like, oh yeah, well, I'm like white, but I'm totally a black ally, and I say burn the shit down. You're like, oh, okay, so you got your fucking virtue signal points now. Good job. But what about that apartment building full of black families? Black fucking families in the apartment building that was fucking burnt down. But that's fucking great somehow. Black fucking businesses. There's like black fucking people crying on fucking the news being like, that was my whole life. They're fucking crying. They're like, I built that for my whole life and it's all destroyed. But we're just gonna fucking, don't think about that. That doesn't fucking matter. Just fucking celebrate looting. Fucking mindlessness. Fucking mindlessness. And don't fucking pretend that most of the people who go in, there's a fucking white guy looting Legos. It's not about fucking color. It's about like, oh, here's my chance to get some free, here's my chance to fucking get some of my fucking aggression out and like grab some Legos or whatever. Like that guy may or may not be racist. He may or may not be a black ally. I don't know. I try not to assume shit, but he's definitely an opportunist, as are most people in a group setting. Yes, welcome to this surprise Rogue Ways. I was just a little bit too pissed to keep it all inside. I've been fucking cogitating about it all day and how absolutely stupid it is. And I think to myself, wow, I've been trying my whole fucking life to tell people a fucking thing or two or learn myself about a thing or two and fucking try and make the world better. And here people are celebrating its random fucking pointless destruction like it's a good thing because people are fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. I'm not always super intelligent myself. Sometimes I get really emotional and I make really bad decisions and what the fuck ever. I'm not amazingly perfect human, but I definitely try my hardest to actually think things through and fucking make plans and analyze shit before I jump to conclusions and ask questions before I fucking pretend like I know what the fuck is going on. And I definitely don't meet random strangers and assume I know their life because of the color of their skin, white or black, because that's another thing that's happening. People are like, oh, this woman is white, so she's probably racist. I'm like, how fucking ignorant are you? You just looked at the color of my skin and judged me, but you're supposedly anti-racist. Good job, you fucking tard. Oh, God. Sorry, I'm just like going through the chat a little now. Thank you guys for all your support. Personal responsibility is like kryptonite to most people. Thank you for pointing that out, Pearl. It's like it would fucking kill you for to even fucking try it on for a second and just imagine what it would be like to take care of your fucking self. This is the other thing. I'm like, people want everything just fucking handed to them on a platter. You know, white and black, male and female, all fucking people. We're creating just like a country of completely fucking patronized and fucking ignorant and fucking selfish and self-absorbed, just identity obsessed fucking mindless freaks. Complacency like a motherfucker up in this, like we just fucking breed it. Like this is what and this is why I quit teaching eventually, because I realized it actually does do great harm and trains people to be just fucking mindless idiots, which I knew going in, but I just thought I'm allowed to do it differently in my classroom. No, you're not. You will get fucking ripped up by the system if you try to do it anything differently. So I left. And this is what we're making. We're making these pointless, mindless fucking, it's not just like the regurgitation and shit. It's this like training people to have no responsibility and training people to feel entitled to everything without any work, without any fucking, it's hard work. Life is fucking hard. Self-development is hard. It's not easy. I love that fucking meme that's like, you know, what people think self-development and enlightenment is like, and it's like a spa and like the fucking coconut, cucumber, whatever the fuck shit on the people's faces, and it's like what it's actually like, and it's like somebody like burning in a fucking fire, carrying like mountains on their back and like stumbling through it all. Like, yeah, it's hard work. It's not easy to become a self-responsible person. And it's the most fucking important thing you can do. And you're not doing it if you're burning down other people's houses. The end of that story. There's nobody's house that you can burn down to make the world a better place. Sorry. Like, that'd be easy. Wouldn't it be awesome? Wouldn't it be awesome if all we had to do was wake up tomorrow, get some guns and weapons, meet somewhere and burn down a house? That'd be rad. If that was the solution to the fucking world, like, I'd be down. Let's go do it. But it's fucking not. If it was, we would have solved this shit a long ass time ago. And what it is personal responsibility and taking care of your goddamn self and each other. Because if you get to the point where you can be fucking responsible for yourself, you have every responsibility to then share that with as many people as possible and help them become self-responsible as well. Don't do it in a codependent way. Empower them. Empower people. Be a fucking leader that empowers people. Once you get to that point, like, that is your next fucking responsibility. That's your next fucking goal. And if you're not doing those things, you're making the world a worse place. Period. That's period after that statement. There is no other way to make the world a better fucking place. Good fucking God. I am still teaching, and I do love it. I actually love fucking teaching, and I wish that I could do it forever. So I guess I got that out of my fucking system. I'll just wait for, like, the fucking racism accusations to roll in, you know? There's, like, people out here who are, like, seriously counting black people that they know as though this is like the thing that makes you racist or not. Like, well, I know like 10 black people and they say, and I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like, fuck you, you fucking idiot. How fucking ignorant can you be? You're gonna count your fucking, so do you go out, this is fucking racist as fuck. Do you go out and you go fucking shopping for people based on their fucking ethnicity or culture or color of their skin? Because you're a fucking racist. You go out and you're like, oh, I know people who are this ignorant, who are like, well, if you go into a black community, it's like this. It's like all black people are like this. And I'm like, and you're a fucking ally? You're racist as fuck. I understand generalizations can be made about every culture and community. I get it. But like people who actually believe, oh no, black people are like this, like you're just as racist as a fucking person like saying negative shit or whatever. Like, and you don't have any fucking idea that you're being racist. You know, saying black people dance well is still fucking racist. You know, it's as racist as saying something that, like, you're fucking ignorant. And then you're like tallying people up like they're objects in your fucking shelf or some shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't give a fuck what color the people I hang out with or interact with skin are. Some of them happen to be black, yellow, fucking all kinds of shapes and sizes, gay, straight, all kinds of religions and fucking everything in between, because I don't give a fuck about any of those fucking labels or anything about them at all. I don't give a shit. I don't even need to fucking know what your little isms are or whatever. What I really fucking care about is whether or not you can use your fucking brain and you have a fucking heart. And everybody does and should and could, but people are like way too happy to sit around fucking loafing the fuck out of their fucking entire life and pretending like blaming the fucking system is going to be enough to like let you off the hook at some point when you have to fucking reckon with your goddamn soul that you were the one who didn't do a fucking thing to change shit. Like, there is not a single person in the fucking world who has an excuse to not try to better themselves, no matter your fucking situation. Everybody has some aspect of a shit hand dealt to them, and you can't always fucking see it as easily you can see the fucking color of someone's skin. Judging what other people's fucking... This is why I just said the other day, somebody was like, I'm not familiar with SJW, what does that term mean? And I was like, oh, it's social justice warrior. This is the group on the left who will tally up your fucking oppressions and tell you your score so you know how much to sacrifice yourself in order to appease the lower and more oppressed people on the fucking tally board, because it's a fucking mathematical game to them, and it's shallow as... How shallow is that? It's so fucking shallow. Like, you can fucking tally up my life's hardships and the struggles I've had to overcome to be a fucking self-responsible person. You don't fucking know me. You don't fucking know my fucking struggles and shit. You don't know anybody's. You're gonna tally up some shit based on fucking identity, power, and privilege, and then pretend you know a person and how they should be treated, or who's the fucking ally, or whatever the fuck. You don't know fucking anything, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. I would love to put together a panel of, like, you know, the people who the SJWs would tally the highest oppression scores, like a transgendered black fucking, I don't know, would it be male to female or female to male that would be more oppressed? So let's say male to female, black, like Satanist, fucking poor, impoverished, like, I don't know, which category am I missing? Whatever. And like a panel of those people who have also seen through this fucking lie that these are the most important aspects of ourself, and that nothing else could be more important than us focusing and hyper fucking focusing on those things and just tallying up our victimhood and fucking obsessing about it. Being like, these are the only things that matter in my life. It's just that I'm a victim because of these things about me. Nothing else fucking matters. Let's just only, like, the people who have seen through that shit. I wish I could fucking put together a show. But I think it would be racist and fucking sexist and transphobic or whatever the fuck to just try to fucking look for those people in order to have that show. But it would, like, probably wake up a bunch of ignorant fucking idiots who think that they can only think things that, like, the black community has fucking pre-approved or whatever, as though the fucking black community is this monolithic fucking structure and they all have a uniform thought. Like, that's fucking racist. You are racist. I hate this shit. The people who are fighting the hardest against this racism, and God bless their stupid little fucking hearts, they mean well, but they're too fucking dumb to see that, like, half the shit they do is racist as fuck. And you know, when I was still an irresponsible person and I still lived in my fucking victimhood, and somebody maybe have come along and been like, oh, you poor, like, oppressed female, like, you know, and you were, like, targeted as a youth because you were young and, like, they thought you were stealing, because I fucking was. And fucking like, oh, you poor thing, like, here's this handout for you because you've been so oppressed your whole life. I'd be like, oh yeah, totally, I'm so oppressed, and take it and go, because, like, why wouldn't you? You know, that's not empowering at all. It's fucking, what's the word? Codependent. It's enabling. You're enabling victimhood and fucking, you know? I'm like totally down with helping organize communities, fucking help lift people up, empower them, fucking encourage them, like create systems that are fucking great and thriving in your community, that are like, you know, honor humanity and help people lift themselves out of situations. And don't do it as a fucking handout. Do it as a fucking thing where we're all doing this together and we're all working together and nobody's giving you shit. You're working for it yourself too. Like, my mom fucking taught me well, and if you give people something for free, they don't honor it. It doesn't mean anything. They didn't fucking earn it and they didn't work for it. It doesn't mean a goddamn thing. Every once in a while, somebody is truly in a fucking horrible situation where they desperately need an actual fucking handout, and it is so fucking rare. But you're like house burnt down last night and you're literally standing here in your underwear on the street corner, like, yeah, I'll just give you some shit. But like, in general, in the world, as life goes, that's a very rare situation to be in, where you absolutely have nothing and no ability to acquire anything or do anything for yourself. For the most part, you still have a body and a mind and a soul, and you can act and you can do things to better yourself and to fucking take care of yourself and to grow. And that's going to mean all the difference in the world between a fucking handout and having done it yourself, because you will have earned it and you will have honored that and you will respect it and yourself. And you will create more of that, and it will be self-perpetuating, and it will infect others and grow out from there. And Jesus, fuck, I have like more people watching this fucking impromptu, completely angry rant than like most episodes. Thank you. I don't know what started this, I don't know what this discussion is in the chat, but yes, I would love your criticism. Please offer it. Everybody should be able to hear their criticisms and respond to them. And yes, please don't ever follow me blindly. Please don't follow anyone blindly. Please, please, please. Like, always think for yourself and ask your own questions and go looking for the answer, and, you know, use logic to weigh pros and cons, and purposely, like we talked about on Thursday, go outside of your group and outside of your box and ask other people, like, hey, what do you see going on and what do you think is happening, and like gather information and data like it was fucking prana, and like feed your soul and your mind with it. Always ask questions. I think you guys all ask lots of questions. I think you're very critical thinkers, very deep thinkers. And I think that you are out here trying to be self-responsible and trying to infect the rest of humanity with it. God damn, we need it desperately. I looked around today and I was like, I don't even know if there's any hope. These people are all fucking stupid. They're not, though. They're not stupid. They're emotionally charged, desperate people. I'm not even talking about like looters right now. I'm talking about like people who are caught up in this drama are emotionally charged, desperate people who are just fucking flailing in the wind, and that's right where they want us. And that's why I get so disappointed in it. Because I'm like, this is now more than ever the time where you should be as fucking vigilant as possible for the fucking shenanigans they pull. I mean, how many fucking black people were murdered by police in the past like 3 months? Way more than this fucking one. Like, why did this one start a bunch of riots? It's not because people were just sitting there waiting and they're like, okay, just give me a fucking reason. Just give me a fucking reason, God. I'm gonna go out and burn shit. That's not why. That is not even close to why. The reason why, there's one reason why. And if you're screaming the media right now, you're right. The media put it fucking out. It was like, oh my God, look at this fucking, oh my fucking. And then people were like, what the fuck? And if the media didn't, nobody would have. Like, seriously, if the media ignored it, and I'm not even saying they should ignore it, I'm just pointing out, if they ignored it, nothing would be happening right now. But they didn't, and there's a reason why. There's a reason why. You have to ask yourself, Why? Why did they paint this very non-racially motivated event as a racially motivated one? Why had they focused on multiple racially motivated events in the past week or more? All of a sudden, out of the blue, we're done talking about coronavirus, I guess, and now we're going to talk about race. Keep you in the fucking cycle of fear and fucking hatred and fucking targeting your own fucking neighbors instead of them. And we could get into how similar this is to the exact same fucking psychology that was used against us in the corona fucking pandemic scare. It's exactly the fucking same. And the same result is true. If you were fucking self-responsible and thoughtful and had a fucking heart that worked, you wouldn't fall victim to it. Or you would maybe for a minute, and then you'd come out of it because you'd be like, wait a second, this is kind of fishy. It's just fucking sad. It's just so fucking disappointing to see the media this powerful still. You know? And I know the fucking game. I'm not like even really fucking blaming people because it's hard to blame someone when it's like, dude, we're just like, the economy was just fucking fucked on purpose. Like, you don't have a fucking job. You're fucking scared for months hiding in your fucking house. People are like screaming at each other at supermarkets over fucking masks and shit. People are like bullying each other over fucking what direction they're walking down a fucking aisle. You know, and like this is all going on. You're fucking terrified. Maybe someone you know died. I don't know. Not many people did, but maybe someone you know did. And that's all going on. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, look at this, freak out, like race riot. And you're like, oh, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to go burn some shit down. Like, I fucking get it. I just fucking wish people could fucking detach from that emotional, chaotic cycle and breathe and ground and ask themselves some fucking questions and just fucking think. There is hope. There is always hope. I mean, I'm in a moment of anger right now, and I'm fucking pissed at all of. I'm so disappointed. I'm pissed at how disappointed I am in people. Ugh. I rarely get this publicly angry and emotional. But if you were ever like a student of mine and you're watching right now, you're like, oh, there's Miss Brown. Yeah, like she gets pissed sometimes. Because I do it to my students too. I'd be like, fucking, why the fuck would you guys think this? Whatever the fucking thing is, that whatever. It was always something spiritual or mental or societal that I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is what you guys are fucking doing. And again, not like I get it. You're like, we're fucking all conditioned. We're conditioned and trained, and every fucking trap around us is made to force us down these very narrow channels, and I understand it. It's very difficult not to fall down the channels. I always come back to it. I always remember, and I always fucking forgive people. What's that thing? Forgive them. They know not what they do. I always get back to there, but in the meantime, I'm fucking angry that not more people can use their goddamn brains. Here's something hopeful. And maybe we'll end on this, because otherwise I'm just going to start repeating the same shit that I've already gone through. And I didn't even mean to make this long, so we'll end on this hopeful thing. This is a hopeful thing. There's more than one of them, actually, but this is one that is very hopeful. There is a van. I don't know anything about this, so I'm admittedly somewhat ignorant, but I saw it briefly in a clip somewhere, and it made me fucking happy. There was a group called Mad Dads, I want to say. They had like a van. Like, they clearly were organized because they used their fucking brains. They clearly had thought ahead. They clearly understood the lack that people had and how it might be filled by them, since they were already good and responsible in themselves enough to offer this to other people by thinking ahead and planning, by identifying fucking problems and seeing how they might help them, and going into their community and providing a fucking service for free that no one asked for because they understand how the fucking world works. I think they're called Mad Dads. They had their van. It had like logos and shit on it. It looked cool. And they were fucking people from the community where the fucking first riot was happening. And they showed up to the fucking protest, and they had their fucking loudspeakers and bullhorns and shit. And they were speaking messages of peace. And they were saying, yes, we're mad. And yes, this is a problem. And we can actually do something about it. And we should do something about it together. We should work together, and we should do something about it. And here's how they were the voice of reason, and that gives me hope that there are people who have thought ahead and used their heart. Oh, thank you so much, Steve. I very much appreciate that. And they have planned, and they have come together, and they have used their own resources, and they have provided for a community that they knew could be easily brought to this point, because it's so fucking easy to play this game with us and to fucking manipulate us like little fucking puppets on a string if we let them. And they knew that that could be something that would possibly help in a time of chaos. And that is a beautiful fucking thing. And we should end on that image of people who realize that no one's going to fucking do it for us. We're never going to be able to wait for the government or some random fucking organization of people. And we're never going to be able to fucking do it if we're all divided. But we will be able to fucking take care of ourselves and be able to build ourselves up and be able to make sure our emotions are checked and to be able to use our brains and our logic to identify what's actually going on and analyze it with logic and think it through, and then use our hearts, use your emotion, use the positive parts of your heart and your emotion, or maybe some of your angry parts come in handy too. I was pissed today and I came up with this fucking thing impromptu, and all of a sudden, it's not always bad, but in general, acting out of emotion is pretty stupid, and it leads to pretty poor choices. It leads to pretty thoughtless choices. If you have no plan and you just have emotion, you're probably going to be very destructive and ruin some shit. But if you get together with some people who are like-minded and you have a plan and you have identified where you are going to go and provide a service and help to people in a community who need it in some way, you're going to be the fucking change. You're going to do exactly what Gandhi said. You see something that needs to be done, guess who has to fucking do it? You do. You have to go do that. So yeah, I don't think you should go out and fucking riot. I don't think you should go burn down the White House. I don't think you should kill Donald Trump. I don't think any of those things would get you anything except violence and destruction. And then you'll be sitting there with no plan going, oh, what now? And you know who always will have a plan waiting for you when you are done fucking pulling off the violence that they engineered you to take off and fucking do? The people who are fucking pulling the puppet strings and who have put you in this fucking narrow channel to fucking sluice down quickly without thought. Is the fucking people in power. The same fucking people. They're always in power. You can look at every fucking revolution throughout history and the same fucking people are still in power afterwards. The same fucking families still have all the money. The same fucking people are in power. And that's going to be the way it is if we do this now. It's not going to be any different. You don't have a plan for it to be different. It's not going to be different. But you can have a plan to go affect your actual, real, local, actual people in your real physical community that's right around you right now. That's what you can do. You can affect that. You can affect yourself. You can build yourself up. You can focus your mind. You can clarify your emotional state. You can practice your logic. You can think shit through. You can find like-minded people. You can build something that provides for an actual need in your actual real community. You can do that. So let's all fucking do that. Let's at the very least try to make ourselves more capable of being the people who can do those things. And then let's actually do those things. Those are the things that need to be done. Thank you guys so much for letting me get that out of my system. I hope that it was in any way helpful to anyone. I really do appreciate you guys so much. And I will see you tomorrow with Steve Schneider, who I think was in the chat tonight. And we are going to talk about all things religious and Christian from very interesting perspectives and takes on that word and that religion. And so it might be fascinating for you if you're into those things. I'm going to have fun with it. So until you can practice self-responsibility in so many ways that it just spills out like an abundant fountain, shoots at everybody that you come in contact with and transforms the entire fucking world, travel well, aim for balance, and always look inside first.
It's a one-on-one lesson, so do your homework. Make your dome hurt while up on earth. My bones are blessed from holy dirt. Vibes manifested to words that told me search for verbs and adjectives to describe birth. Worth more than one can speak, while the tongue beats a weak, a sour taste in your mouth, bittersweet. Words can also kill you when you sleep. Mind condition, low frequencies while the subconscious mind listens. I can tell a vision filled with lies disguised as truth, and spread it like the word to the youth. Watch the tube. A place where the God is food is sorcery. To recreate a God forgery does more than meets the eye. Not too many know. Just hit me.
top of the fourth, didn't climb Jacob's ladder to squab with a sword, forged with Yggdrasil, branched out, try quiet your lamps now. Ascension past the matter, that they slam out they damn mouths. We ain't on land now, but they under over in a stand, sacrificing wisdom, hoarding dumber, kosher, wicked hands, putting faith in worthless worship of the mortals, artificial portals, mass ingestion of the black goo, bioengineered morsels, conversing with machine elves, bypassing maggots. They stuck on Android screens now. I'm scrolling emerald tablets, Moloch living lavish, off the backs of the savage. Them clasped hands at the Sabbath, smack of energy damage. They done twisted the tongues, but nanotech in the lungs. The awakening's begun. All they really can do is fucking
run.